everybody. Just wait a second or two to see if anybody comes on. I'm sure you're probably sick of me already today. Can you tell I've got a computer behind me I'm going to be looking at? Wait for it. Got to get back to coffee talk there. Oh, there I am. Ooh, lovely. So let's see who's going to come on. It was great talking. Oh, Tiffany was on. Oh, first thing, Tiffany, thanks. Hope you're having a good day. It's really rainy here, so it's a good day to do a recording and just hang out in my office. Because my husband's sleeping, taking a nap again. When your husband turns 71, they nap a lot. Tiffany says, of course. Let's just wait a few seconds, Tiff, okay? Why don't you go create something in Evernote or, I don't know, go to the dollar store and get some pens or paper or some envelopes or stationery or some crap to put in your files that are alphabetically and color-coded. Hey, Marianne, how are you? Looking spiffy in my rummage sale shirt. Oh, look. Let's tuck that in. Should have changed my clothes, but I thought, it's just those guys. They don't care. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started because this will be recorded. So for those of you who jumped right on, I really appreciate you. Thanks, everybody, for coming on. We're going to just try to review what we talked about on that call this morning because the electronic gods were not with me and I didn't get it recorded. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you is that, there is nothing new that I'm probably going to teach you about bookings. I'm going to try to share some ideas that I've heard. Nothing's new for me either. I don't create this stuff. I just try to make it my own and pass it on, or sometimes I just copy it just the way it was. But if you're looking for bookings or if your team needs bookings, then I'm going to try to share some ideas that have been working for my team and maybe some things that you haven't tried yet. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the graphic that was posted about the inevitable cycles of direct sales. And what you have to know is that no matter if you're an executive, if you're a national, if you're a brand new consultant, you can expect that your business is going to go through ups and downs. And the 4 different parts of the cycle are growth. The next one is plateau. The next one is decline. And then you go back to rebuild. So you've got to kind of figure out where you are in your business, okay? If you're in one of those good cycles, let's say the growth cycle, then my suggestion to you is to capitalize on the momentum you've got. Because guess what, friend? That cycle will not last forever. Sometimes we get into those cycles where, oh my gosh, everything is going right. We're going to parties, people are buying, they're booking, they're recruiting, and you think, man, I have got this, and this is going to be the way my business will be forever. And the unfortunate thing is that it can't. That's not just the way it goes. That's not how direct sales work. For that matter, pretty much anything in life. All things have a cycle. All things have a season. And I think that's why this has 4 different levels. It's just like the seasons: spring, summer, winter, fall. You can't have always summertime, okay? You can't always have the harvest. There's got to be other seasons of your business. So growth is where you always want to be if you can. So if you're in growth, you capitalize on the momentum and you keep pushing and you do everything you can to make hay while the sun shines. But the other thing you do when you're in a growth cycle is you prepare and get yourself ready because it's not going to last. And the next cycle is plateau. What happens with plateau is we're doing so well, we kind of think that we can kind of, take our pedal off the metal and think that we can kind of coast. Well, the truth is in direct sales, there is no neutral. You're either going forward or you're going backwards, okay? So you have to always know that. So that if you're at a plateau, you'd better think again about revving it back up because otherwise you'll go into the next cycle, which is decline. And I've been in a decline. I can tell you several times in my business, not that I wanted to, but I just was careless and let it go. So if you happen to slide into that decline, you're going to have a choice. You're either going to have to go back into rebuild, Or if you're weak, or if you don't know that this cycle that this is cyclical and you think there's no hope, you're going to go the other way and you're going to make no decision to work on it. You're going to leave. This is what happens to people in direct sales. They get that high from being in growth. They plateau out and they go, okay, well, this isn't so bad. But the minute they hit decline, they say, oh, adios, I'm out of here. I want you to know that right around the corner is your rebuild cycle. And what you can do, and what, I didn't write her name down, I think it was Susan, who did our graphics so beautifully. If you find yourself at plateau, guess what? You don't have to go into decline. Zip right back over to rebuild and get yourself on the upward. So that's kind of a brief explanation of those cycles that if you don't understand that, or if a new consultant comes in and doesn't know that that's how it's going to be, it really can be tough, okay? So let's get your business into either rebuild or into growth. All right, so one of the things that I didn't get to chat with you about was my recipes that I use at my parties. So what I do is I create a menu of choices for them. Just like if you were going to go in a restaurant and they say, here's your choices, I do 6 different cooking classes each season. And I name them and I describe what's on the menu. So if you got a chance to take a peek at that, I posted the file. But look, I just used a folder like this for my guests. Now look, I've used just catalogs and order forms. I've done elaborate things. This is just plastic folders because these last for a long time. And then inside I put all the ordering stuff here on the left. This is just a little sheet about the 3 ways that you can party with me. You can have a virtual or catalog party. You can do a cooking class, or you can do a fundraiser. But in the middle, this is where I put that sheet about the different cooking classes that I offer. And then recruiting always goes in the back. 2 pieces for recruiting. But anyway, the way I use this at a party is when I'm going to do my booking talk, I might have everybody look at that sheet and I might say something like, okay, ladies, so when we think about having a party with me, we did tonight the pizza where I taught you how to make a homemade pizza, but there are 6 choices. So could somebody read out loud the first title, the first cooking class that you could choose? Oh, whatever it is, Taste of Italy or whatever it is. And would you read off what's on the menu? Food gets me bookings, okay? I am not a take it or leave it girl where I say, okay, June is the month that I'm making chicken bruschetta pasta and that's it. You're either going to love that or we're not going to do a party. I really believe people like a choice. If you don't want to give them 6 choices, give them 3. If you don't want to do 3, give them 2. Give them a choice and use that to get yourself bookings. All right. If you're in a decline or a plateau mode, I really think that something has to trigger you to get into rebuild. And for me, it's always been a new recipe, a new product, a new show idea, something that gets me excited. And the other thing that I would encourage you to do is go back to basics. So that's where in the call this morning I talked about go back to one basic thing for your shows. And I want to talk to you about my host coaching, because what I think happens, and I shared this morning, with all of the technology we have, we've got Facebook, we've got beautiful websites, we've got links, we've got virtual parties, we've got tons of ways for customers to order from us and never show their face at a party. We've made it really, really easy for them to stay home and get the show experience. But I think you have to think, maybe that's not the best option. I want people at my party. Why? Well, because let me be brutally honest. If they don't need to come to a party and see me and get everything live with me, do they really need me in the field? I mean, if we're going to turn into a virtual shop online company, does the company really need a consultant? I am not saying that that's ever going to happen. I mean, I know it's not going to, but I'm kind of like thinking, I want to preserve that part of our company. I think that the show experience is the very best place for people to see us and get our product. So I want people at the party. That's my point. I don't necessarily want my hosts getting tons of outside orders before the party. So my rule, my simple host coaching is we want to get 12 people at the party. That's it. That's all they have to do. That's all I want them to concentrate on. Because what I'm seeing is that parties can be very successful in sales. I can look at a consultant's stats and she'll have, a $700 or $800 party. Yay. But I'll see how many customers are ordering or how many people are coming, and it's lower. It's maybe 6 or 7. if you want to get bookings, if you want to get recruits, if you want to influence their sale, we need them to come to the party. Okay? So just because we can get high sales by using all these other resources doesn't mean that I want to focus on those resources when I'm doing cooking shows. I want to focus on people coming. So I give my host a reward when she gets 12 people. And I can buy people out for a chocolate lava cake. Hello, who would think? Or I do a lemon pound cake or something uber simple. I don't do any elaborate dessert recipes. It's always something super simple like that. So, oh, thanks, Nicole. I'm into show experience. Love you, girl. But anyway, so try something with your host and letting them know, you know what? My biggest goal is for us to have 12 people at the party, because that's what I find is the most successful number, 12 or more. And then, girls, what you want to do is work with your host after the party to get outside orders. At least that's my psychology. I'm going to take my first shot at them at the party. If they don't come, then I'll have my host get the rest of the orders. But what does this have to do with bookings? Bookings happen at parties when you have people in the seats. So I'm just giving you that suggestion. It's a numbers game, and you got to have people there. All right, so let's talk about some things to get you excited. One of the ideas I shared was the idea of a multiple host virtual party. And this is not my idea. This comes from a 31 consultant I met. And she was telling me how many virtual parties she does. Okay, so I think virtual parties should be kind of like the icing on the cake. And I quite honestly don't want to spend gobs of time on them. So when she told me she was running like 16 to 20 virtual parties a month, like I just bugged out and said, there's just no way. And she said, oh, let me tell you how I do it. She creates an event or a group. I think she uses events, and that's what I prefer on Facebook. Just my own personal opinion, because I don't like being put into groups that go on and on forever without my permission. So my personal opinion is events. Anyway, it's an event where she puts 4 hosts in at a time. So the event might be called Battle of the June Hosts, and starring Mary Jones, and then you give her link to her party, and April Schillig, and you give her link to her party, and Marna Ross, and here's the link. So you're running 4 parties in one event, and you're posting just once, and 4 groups are getting that post, and 4 hosts are interacting, and 4 times the people are coming in. And what she does then, or what you can do, is offer the host with the highest sales a little gift. And she said that usually they, battle it out. She'll say, okay, we got an order for Mary's party. Congratulations. Thank you, Sue Smith, for your order. It creates a lot of excitement. She's doing 1/4 the work, and she finds that works really well. So I wanted to share that idea of the multiple host virtual party, mega party, if you will. And people who do cooking parties have done mega parties for a long time. All right. So the next idea that I shared was about an online cooking club, and there was lots and lots of discussion about this. And come to find out, this idea was shared by Erin, and I know Christina. I just haven't been all that active in the coffee club, so I didn't know that you had already heard about it, but maybe it jogs your memory. But just so that you kind of get... Sharon Zellen is calling me right during my live. Sharon... All right, just so you know how she told me how to do them. So let's think about a cooking club online. This is another opportunity to get customers, especially long distance, or maybe your junkies who just had a party, or just loyal customers who in general who love you. But basically you form a cooking club online. You'll create a group, and you'll put 6 people in. So you're going to ask for 6 people who wants to be part of a new thing that I'm trying. And it's a cooking club, and we'll be sharing recipes, and I'll be joining you live. So 2 of my directors have been doing these, and the idea is that each person in the club has to commit to spending at least $35 product plus tax plus shipping per month for 6 months. So you've got 6 people in the club, and whoever joins first gets to pick which of the upcoming 6 months they want to be the host. So everybody's going to get a chance to be the host. This is a really simple concept, and I'm pretty sure you all understand it, but I'll explain it for those, for the benefit of the doubt that you might not get all the deets. So you're guaranteed like a $10 party. But the idea is that whoever is hosting that month, she's going to get more orders. The gals who are doing this are getting usually $500 parties out of this. And all they're doing is just making a group and posting it once or twice a month. It's not that hard. So how do you manage it? Well, first of all, you tell the people when you get the interest, you message them back and say, I'm so excited to add you. And what we're going to do is every month you'll place your order, and it needs to be in by the 9th of the month. And if by chance you don't want to choose your own products, there will be a package of the month that you'll automatically receive. And you'll tell them what it is. So I gave the example that this month it was on the June, I'm looking at my calendar, on the June Pampered Chef calendar, there's a recipe for like Lucy Juicy burgers. That was the recipe of the month. And then the product package went along with that. It was like the burger press, the turner, the spice, the barbecue basting bottle, and some other things that added up to about $35 to $40. And then tax and shipping. So the big question is always, well, what if somebody's in the club and they don't place an order? Well, the way that these girls run them is that they get everybody's credit card up front with the agreement that you'll place your order by the 9th of the month, and you'll put the link in the group just like you would any other virtual event. So if it's Mary's month, you'd say like, okay, Mary Jones is our host this month. Here's the link for Mary's party. Place your order by June 9th. Here's the default package if you don't choose your own. And then if no order comes in, you could send them a reminder, and you go ahead and you order for each of those customers who didn't place an order, you order them the default package. You also will advertise that when they spend $75, they get the guest special too. So kind of like a catalog party, it's kind of like a virtual party, but you're doing the same 6 people. And they are loving it. The girls that are doing it say that they post the recipe. One girl actually goes live in that group, just like I'm coming live to you now, and she actually makes the recipe live for everybody. And they're saying people are posting pictures of theirs when they make it. They're posting other recipes. You can do it as much as little as you want, but that's how that online cooking club works. And we posted some verbiage and some graphics of how you could advertise for that. Now, remember, we do 6 because it's a short enough period of time so that people will commit. If you do a 12-month, let's say, oh, I want to do 12 people in 12 months, that's quite a bit of money for somebody to commit to, and I think your interest will wane. So you get 6, you do it for 6 months, but there's nothing stopping you from forming 1, 2, 3, 4. The girl I got this idea from runs 4 at a time. She's got 16 people in monthly clubs all the time. Pretty easy way to change up your business, hey? All right, so that is the online cooking club. All right, another idea we chatted about was to do live cooking demos on your Facebook page, in your groups and on your Facebook page. And I go out, I don't do it as often as I would love to, but I go out and I do a recipe. I try to have a lot done, but I try to do a full-blown recipe on my page. And what I think is effective is just kind of like what I did, is told you, hey, I'll be cooking live in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I know that Laura Polito does this. She'll tell people when she'll be on. And you cook a recipe, but some of the tricks to get the exposure that you want. The first thing out of your mouth when you get on there, and several times during the demo, is you say, hey friends, thanks so much for joining me. I'm so excited to be cooking with you. If you wouldn't mind doing me a quick favor, would you just go ahead and click the share button on this video and share this to your news feed so that you'll have it for when you want to make the recipe later, and your friends can also see me cooking. This will go so far to expand your reach, because if they share it, your views of your video are going to just skyrocket. The last one that I did this with, I got it to 1,700 people. Now, for other people who are really active on Facebook, that's probably not that many, but for me, that was a really big reach that time. So I was really happy when I saw that 1.7, K people that had viewed the video. And then you'll also want to make a comment about how people can order, because I've gotten some strange orders in, and I know that they would come in right after I would do a video, so I know that it was from people's friends who saw the video, etc. I didn't message this. I did not mention this morning, but I want you to know also that when you post on Facebook, the best way to go live or do videos is to use Facebook Live. Why? Because Facebook Live is a Facebook platform, and Facebook loves their own videos. They don't love YouTube. YouTube is Google. That's their competitor, right? So when you're always creating videos in Google and then posting them, you're not going to get as much traction out of those. So go Facebook Live. And then Charlotte's always posting helpful tips on how you can convert a Facebook Live video into a MP3 or 4, I don't know the number, how to save it to your computer so that it can be shared again and again. So I can post those directions too because I saved them. So that's really good. Now, Alexa says, place your website link in the Facebook title. So that's a good idea too. Sometimes I don't always want my website to be in the title because I don't want Facebook to consider it spammy or salesy. Sometimes, you know, I've read mixed things about that, but that's a great idea too. I usually put it in the comments, or sometimes I'll have a little sign, and I just put a little sign up that's getting filmed while you're going. Okay? All right. So I suggest that you go live and do some cooking too. All right. Another idea to get your business rocking and rolling is to do a cooking party at your house. I call these Come Cook With Me classes, and I posted all kinds of information on this. So look, when I do not have a party on my calendar, I get myself in gear and get myself a party scheduled because I'm the one person that can't cancel on me and I can control it. But this is what I'd love to say to you. Lots of consultants say to me, oh, I don't want to have a party at my house. Oh my gosh, that's just way too much work, or blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to come, or I'm worried nobody wants to come. Well, I have to ask you this, friends. If you won't do what you're asking your customers and your friends and your family to do, there's no hope. You have to be willing to do what you're asking them to do. So the reason I like you to do a cooking class at your house is, number one, when you are trying to get more bookings, let's say you're going to use that, well, we'll talk about that next, that 1 through 20, but let's say you are looking for bookings. If you go ahead and schedule a party next week, let's say on Thursday or Friday, you schedule a Come Cook With Me class. If somebody can't book their own party, they won't do a virtual party, you always have in your back pocket to say, you know what, I'm doing a cooking class at my house next week. It's free. I'd love to have you come and bring a guest. What would you think? So in other words, while you're making booking calls and contacts, if they can't do that, you could at least invite them to your party the next week. It's not just a regular party. As a matter of fact, I really don't treat it as a party. I treat it as a cooking class because people love that experience. So the way you are going to invite, you're going to invite on Facebook. You're going to invite through Consultant Connection is the best way to invite. And you're also going to take an invitation with you to every party you have between now and then and invite your guests to come cook with you for free at your house. One of the tricks I found is that you limit the number of people who can attend. Anytime I limit numbers, I get great attendance. If I say to consultants, hey, I'm going to be doing a recipe night at my house, we're going to be working with blah, blah, this tool and that tool, I have room for the first 10 or 15. They're dropping out of the sky and wanting to come in. If I just say, hey, please, you know, come, I'll cut off my right arm. If you'll please come, they won't come. But if I limit it, they will. So limit it. And you're going to give them, much like you do for a, what do you call those? Mystery host party. You give them tickets. So we're going to give them tickets for RSVPing and for people coming, you know, for bringing a guest. We're going to, it's free. You're going to buy the groceries. So, but when you get them there, you're going to give them more tickets. And you're just going to have a few little prizes that you might have in your, you know, your junk closet, stuff that's just taking up room, collecting dust, and give out some prizes. But I usually give them, you know, tickets for coming, tickets for bringing guests, tickets for every 25 in that they spend, a lot of tickets if they book a party, and 50 tickets if they become a consultant. So you set it up just like a traditional hands-on party, traditional station-style party. So let's say, I think I mentioned in the earlier call that I did like an all-American show last summer, and we did sliders on the grill pan. We did like the macaroni and cheese, and I think we did maybe, I don't know, like a red, white, and blue pizza, or we did apple cake or something that kind of went with that theme. So everybody gets divided up, they make their recipes, we come together to eat, we talk about the recipes. But the thing I do at cooking classes, I want to make sure they get some, you know, content. So I give them, I Xerox off recipes, maybe not just the 3 that we cook, but maybe 6 or 8 I'll bundle together. Here's some great summertime recipes. I might give them a season's best for coming. And these parties typically get me tons and tons of business. Now, sometimes I'll get 1,000 in sales and sometimes I'll get 300, but what I always get are bookings and I always get recruits. So I have a roll of tickets. So we've eaten and we've had fun and everybody's gotten to know each other. They have name tags and aprons and just like it was a real cooking class. And as I'm wrapping up, I'll say, okay, friends, I've got all of those prizes to give away, and here's your tickets for coming, and here's your tickets for bringing guests. So I'm going to come around and give out more tickets. So you'll get 20, for every 25 you spend, you're going to get a ticket. But better than that, let me give you some tickets for booking your own June or July cooking party. That's what I'd be saying right now. So I go around, and they're kind of like sitting in your living room or wherever, and I unroll the tickets right in front of each person, right in the face. Okay, Mary, thanks so much for coming. So here's your ticket for coming. And what do you think? Are you going to place an order? Okay, 75. Okay, here's 3 tickets for that. But I'd love to give you 10 tickets or 20, or whatever you want to do for booking a party. What do you think about booking a party? I just stand in front of everybody's face and unroll those tickets, and I get lots and lots of bookings that way. So that is your idea, to do a cooking class at your own home. Now, results from those, I think I shared earlier this morning, I tracked one of those, and I think I'd gotten 3 recruits and altogether 17,000 in sales once I figured all the bookings that came from the bookings that came from the bookings. You know, one new piece of business can just take you right into rebuild and all the way back to growth. So do your own party and just make it something fun. Just don't say, hey, come to a Pampered Chef party and come buy stuff. Give stuff away. All right. So another idea that we chatted about was the deal or no deal. Well, let me go to the 1 through 20. A lot of people didn't know what that was all about. And the 1 through 20 idea, you know, hey, if you love Pampered Chef, post any number between 1 and 20. Basically, that was a way to get people engaged with you and give you permission to message them. It's kind of like green dotting on steroids, if you will, because they already made the first move. Like, it's check, okay, checkmate, you can come back. So I posted the messages that I personally sent out. Some of my team did it totally differently. Some of them said whatever number that they picked, they got that number of tickets into a drawing for a free, I think it was an ice cream cake pan. And, oh, by the way, you could get 10 more tickets for booking a party, or I could give you one of those ice cream cake pans for free. You can word it however you want. I had to make it pretty simple. I had posted it on my personal page and in my business group, and I got over 300 people giving me a stupid number. And like, I'm messaging them back and saying, hey, you had lucky number 7. And they said, no, I had 17. Oops. So I just left off the reference to the number eventually. But it worked wonders for many, many people's businesses. It gave them permission to reach out. They were excited because they were giving them something, and they got a lot of bookings. So that's a version of what you could do on Facebook that's a little different, a little more exciting. And some people had really great graphics. They'd have like the ice cream maker, and they had they used Canva, I'm sure, and had their graphic there. Okay, so that's one that's been going around. Another one that my team has used super successfully was called Deal or No Deal. And I know that this idea has been around a while, but I really do think that one of my consultants invented this. She took it out to Nancy Jo Ryan's retreat a couple years ago, and then it started to get some traction. She's done it a couple ways. I posted just a poster board with, I think, like 16 numbers on it. And you would post it and say, hey, are you feeling lucky? Here, pick a number and you'll get an offer from me. And some of them had simple things like free season's best or free rub of your choice. Other ones would say $20 in extra free when you book a party by June 30th, or it might be whatever you want to do to get bookings. Or she did it the last time. She just recently did it because she had gone to another company and came back. she'd gone to a wine company and she really found out the grass was not greener on the other side. So let me just tell you this. I've had consultants go to other companies, you know, things happen, but they come back because Pampered Chef's where it's at. You know, there's just nothing like a true direct sales business. So many of these other companies, let me just get on my high horse here. So many of these other companies are not direct sales. They're multi-level marketing companies. And basically, they are Ponzi schemes. They get people in. They reward people for just signing people up because these people are paying $250, $300 to get a bag of nutritional shakes, or they're getting a couple bottles of wine. But the whole trick is you have to get 2 people under you in order to make commission. They're binary companies. You got to have 2 legs selling in order for you to make your commission. It's all convoluted and all crazy talk, and it's tough to make money. Pampered Chef, you go sell a food shop or a manual food processor, and we're going to send you at least 20% of those sales. No questions asked. There's nothing like our company. It's the best in the world. I hope that you always know that. And going back to that growth, plateau, decline, rebuild, don't leave when you're in a decline or if you're having to rebuild. Stick with it because you never know where you'll end up. You could end up where Sharon Zelen is and all the people that are on this call. So back to Deal or No Deal. So I want to tell you what she did this time. What she did is she went live. So she posted, I think she used red Solo cups this time. And she just wrote a number on the front of red Solo cups. And inside she had a piece of paper with the gift. And she mentioned on her thing, you know, I think she did like 20 or 25 Solo cups. And one of these Solo cups is an extra $100 if you have a party. Some of them have free products. Some of them have, you know, some other incentives. So pick a number. And we're going to go live at 9 o'clock to play Deal or No Deal. So if you've ever seen Deal or No Deal, the person you pick a number, example, here I am talking with you now, and you guys are commenting. So I would say, okay, first to comment was Deb Wilkins. You picked number 2. Okay, Deb. Okay, here's your gift. It's $25 worth of free if you have a party in June. Deal or no deal? And then Deb has to message back, deal, no deal. And then if it's no deal, then she can pick one more number and get what's in that one. Okay? If you've ever watched these videos of people doing pearl parties or pink zebra, or who else have I seen doing this? Pink zebra, pearl parties, LuLaRoe. They just go live, and for 2 hours you watch these people just sitting here like this, picking out a pearl, showing a pair of leggings. It's kind of like that. People will watch you live. It's crazy. So you could try Deal or No Deal. You could try doing the 1 through 20. Definitely host a party at your house next week. Get that cooking club going. Look for those 6 people to get your cooking club going. And maybe do a multiple host virtual party. I mean, you got a whole bunch of new ideas, hopefully. Like I said, none of these are all my idea. They come from lots of other people. One of the ways that I find new ideas is I go to YouTube and I search something like direct sales booking ideas. 31 gifts booking ideas. That's how I found Melissa Feetsum, who I've been talking about for a couple of years. And she's the one who originated the Happy Mail idea that I took to Florida 2 or 3 years ago about how to keep your customers engaged in the loyalty loop. That was another training I did about loyalty, and how you send out Happy Mail to hosts and Happy Mail to customers and consultants. And that idea has really stuck around. I think we've been doing it 2 or 3 years. That came from Melissa. And she also had this idea about the 4 virtual hosts. But going back to the cooking club, I don't think I mentioned it in this little blurb, is that when there's a default package, let's say you place your order by the 9th of the month, and if you don't choose anything, then we're going to send you this package of grilling things. If you're old enough like me to remember the old Book of the Month clubs, or good God, I think I was in a Record of the Month club, they would send you a little postcard, and they had a little catalog, and you got to pick which ones you wanted, and they would send that to you. But if you forgot to send the postcard, there was always a default book or record that got sent to you. And people today, think about Birchbox and BarkBox and FitFabFun and all these, even things like, what's the clothing company that my kids love? Stitch Fix. You don't even know what you're getting. And people are signing up by the drove. So while we wait for the company to come up with hopefully some kind of plan, a subscription plan, I know they're working on it, we can do something like that. So I hope that this explains some of the things that you saw posting. And if not, then you make sure you comment and let me know what I can do to help you. Kim, do you remember a Record of the Month Club? I'm sure you're not as old as me. Anyway, I think that's all I have to share with you. It's been super fun working with you. I really like your coffee club group. And for those of you who are on this morning and I kept shushing you, it's just simply because, like, I cannot focus if there's all kinds of noise in the background. So I didn't mean to be rude. If I offended anybody, I'm so sorry. I had to do it. All right, I'm going to go wake my husband up. He's now taking a nap. What time is it at your house? It's 3:30 here in Michigan, and my Columbia house, Tiffany Marable, that was it. My husband is 71, and he's taking a nap on a Saturday afternoon. This is my life. This is one of my booking lines at my parties. Come up with a booking line, something like this. Ladies, when I'm talking to you about having parties, my favorite thing for you to do is to have a cooking class. For God's sakes, my husband is 71, and I can tell you right now, he is at home. He is watching the Weather Channel with the sound off, and he's freeze framing it every couple of minutes. I don't know what he's watching, but that's what's on TV at my house. I love coming out and doing parties. I want to be anywhere but home. Book a party. Come up with something. Get people to laugh and say, I'll book a party for that poor woman. She needs to get out of her house. Okay, I promise I am done. Thank you. Hey, Jessica. Never miss an opportunity to take a nap. I know, especially when my kids are little. So everybody, oh, there's Alexis. Anyway, you guys are great. Thank you so much. We'll see you really soon, okay? Bye. Oh my gosh, I can't.